Thank you so much, Hilton, for setting the stage. It is truly amazing to have this virtual global conference handing over from Boston here to Germany, and well knowing that so many participants over in the world are tuning in. So that makes me really excited. So in the next couple of minutes, I will speak about the topic future-proof enterprise architecture in a world of rapid change. Let's look at these days. What did you think work would look like today? From our part at Leanix, we've been in so many hours busy in Zoom calls, connecting to people. So you see it here, where we had just another Zoom call, and one of our team members was sharing actually a picture of their children. We experienced so much during that time we pulled together, and it's been, although we have a very hard time, it's been also a unique experience how people can connect using those new technologies. I can tell you, maybe you have seen it live before. There's one person who has probably saw it coming in 2017 already. So 3 years ago, this thing went live on television. And I'm going to run a quick video for you if you have missed it before.
All the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region. Do you think relations with the North may change?
I would be surprised if they do. Pardon me.
That's right, carry on.
My apologies.
What's this going to mean for the region?
My apologies.
So you see, that thing went viral only 3 years ago, but today it's actually the new normal. And if we look a bit on what analysts say towards the current state of organizations, what we learned is that 92% of the companies thought their business models would need to give a big change given the digitization. So even before COVID-19. What I also learned is that looking at the top 500 companies in the world, they now are at an average 22 years old. If we look back into 1958, the average age of those companies was around 60 years. So there's a tremendous chance for innovation, for new business models, which is accelerated due to the current situation we have in the world. So what we see here is the new normal comes very fast, and it's a chance to actually understand how organizations can work better together. Let me take it one level deeper. Let me help us understand what is key for organizations right now. What did we hear from the people we're talking to? I see actually 3 big shifts going on. We talked so much about customer experience. I believe right now, employee experience is a key topic right now. The second point is organizations need to focus so much on efficiency and risk control. Companies are under pressure with their business models, so they have to understand where they can get more efficient, they can put into place more processes and be more automatic, much more than before. And last but not least, coming up with new innovation, new processes. Just give me here an example. Let me give you an example here. The supply chain in the world is heavily impacted. So with the help of new technologies like 3D printing, you can now bring spare parts to any part in the world where you originally had to ship them. This has only been made available thanks to new technologies. When we spoke to some of the enterprise architects before, what we learned is that enterprise architects are today involved in more decisions than ever before. Some architect told me before that finally he has a seat at the table in the boardroom. So the CEO, the CIO are listening to him and taking his guidance either on purchasing new IT solutions, on setting up new processes, or on shaping out new business models. I think this is a tremendous development and also shows the big chance enterprise architecture has in these days. What we also learned from another architect in the finance industry, he told me actually that the EA tool has become the go-to tool to get an overview of the ownership and the responsibilities, both for the business side and the IT side. I had a great conversation with the head of enterprise architecture of the government of Yukon a couple of weeks before. He has done a fantastic job setting up a dashboard for his organization so that all their employees in the government can actually understand in real time which applications are business critical. And most importantly, he's now planning ahead and making information available which of those applications will actually go down or have impacts because of availability or people who are not available right now. So that is a fantastic way of leveraging the data and the capabilities of enterprise architects these days. At this point, I'd like to give a quick overview about how we at Leanix started. When we founded the company 8 years ago, we had a vision in mind how enterprise architecture could change. Over time, we started to call it EA for everyone, because we had an architecture management practice in mind, which is far more collaborative and involving much more people than ever before. So let me run through a couple of points and beliefs we had when launching Leanix many years ago. So first and foremost, we wanted to help organizations get rid of spreadsheets. We wanted to help them establish a trusted data source where organizations rely on taking their decisions. We wanted to help them involving everyone in the organization, getting data out of it. So not calling someone or asking someone via email to get a list of applications or get a list of projects, but rather being able to access the data yourself. We had the target in mind to limit the effort of data maintenance. So where it was very clunky and uncomfortable to update data before, we tried to reduce that hurdle as much as possible. Simplifying the data exchange with other systems is so important. I believe strongly in open APIs, in an ecosystem which is built with other partners. And we're going to see two big announcements on partnerships today. Accelerating the rollout and getting really to value of the enterprise architecture practice is something what is really, really important to me. And last but not least, taking all those points in account, it should allow you to shift from an operational or tactical focus on enterprise architecture to a more strategic thinking in terms of what decisions can I derive? How can I help my business moving forward? I'm thrilled to say that over the last 8 years, we were able to partner with so many great organizations which have actually joined our journey and some of them starting very small with us and growing over the years. So looking at the growth at Leanix over the last 8 years, and specifically in the last 12 months, I'd like to give you a little bit of an insight where we are today with this journey, because I see it as a reflection of the growing enterprise architecture community in the world. So Leanix added about 90 new customers in the last 12 months only, which brings us in total to 280 global organizations using our products today. Most importantly, I think, is the number of monthly active users. If you remember what I said before regarding the collaborative enterprise architecture, it's important to us that many users in the organizations can access the data. So today, on a regular basis, we have 18,000 monthly active users using the data going into Leanix. Some of our organizations even have more than 1,000 monthly active users benefiting from the data. What is also important to us is on a continuous basis measure the feedback we're getting. So we use the Net Promoter Score as a key measurement for that. And quarter over quarter, we have been above 60 in the Net Promoter Score. This all has allowed us to invest strongly into the product, into innovation, and into customer service. We have added 180 new employees in the last 12 months only, which brings us to a total of 230 employees. Today, in our offices in Bonn, where Leanix was founded, in Boston, in Hyderabad, India, and now we've actually opened 2 further offices in the Netherlands and in Munich, in Germany. This will allow us to continuously invest into the product, into our service. And I believe strongly that we can keep growing this practice and make more enterprise architects successful out there in the world. So much about the current state. As much as enterprise architecture is planning the forward-looking state as well, I'd like to share what my vision is on enterprise architecture. Especially in those days, I believe in an actionable enterprise architecture. And I'd like to run you through 5 key points where I believe enterprise architecture can become much more actionable than ever before. The first point is providing easy-to-use self-services. The second point is helping the business to rationalize applications and IT cost. The third one is turning architecture into real solutions and really ensuring that those solutions are built. The fourth point is making plans and transformations really actionable, following through what was a future state architecture, a vision of the architecture, and really tracking the progress that this state is achieved. And last but not least, automate the visibility into the cloud native space, helping companies achieving their multi-cloud strategies. So these are the 5 key points I believe enterprise architecture is going to if you really turn it actionable. And I'd like to run you through each of those points and give you some examples of how we're trying to move towards this. So the first point is how we provide an easy-to-use self-service is by launching the Leanix self-service portal. Let me share what we do here. We allow you to leverage the enterprise architecture data for much larger audiences. We allow you to use that to come up with an application portal, with an API portal, or with a technology catalog. But these are only few examples, because what we will do is we allow you to configure special purpose portals based on the data in the enterprise architecture repository in Leanix. And we all do this without any code involved. So you can go to the admin area, set up your portal, define what data you want to show, and then you can link it to workflows and actions. For example, you can start a ticket in Jira, or you can start a support request in ServiceNow. You can start whatever workflow from that portal and make the access to that portal easy, and then turn the actions on. I'd like to show you a quick video how this could look like for the application portal. So here you see the application portal, which shows the list of all applications, which you can actually then filter by different dimensions. So for example, filtering by desktop productivity. You see Adobe products here, Office 365. You can look into a specific entry here, and then you can start requesting that application and starting a ticket request. So this is just one example of how we're actually doing this with the application portal. But you can well imagine to set up a technology catalog where you allow your developers to look up what are the standard technologies. What we're doing at Leanix, we're making this self-service portal available for everyone. We launched this on June 19th, It will be included in the EA suite and will be available at no cost for every Leanix customer. I'm excited to see it in live, and I'm more excited to hear from you what you have built with the help of the application portal or the infrastructure portal, technology catalog, and I'm looking forward to get that feedback and hear firsthand from you what you have built. The second point is around rationalizing application and cost. I'm really excited to announce a very important partnership for us, which is a partnership with Appdeo. Appdeo is the leading IT financial management solution out there. It helps IT leaders, decision takers, and finance people to understand the cost associated in IT and drive business value. Together, we are going to be much more effective and ensure an aligned execution, for example, in application rationalization or cloud transformation. Because of automated data exchange, we believe that the efficiency between those disciplines will increase. And last but not least, it will actually contribute to a sustainable business value of IT with high quality data. Again, I'd like to run you through a quick example how that will look like. So just imagine you have your applications in the EA repository in Leanix. From there, we automatically transmit it into Appdeo so that you see all the application data, you see all the business capabilities automatically flowing into Appdeo. Based on that data, you can actually analyze all the costs associated. You can use the attributes from your EA inventory in Leanix in order to understand the cost inside of Appdeo. The dashboards become more powerful, but most importantly, the two organizations which have been looking at separate data sources in the past, they now look on one aligned data set. And I think this is a great value. I'm excited to announce that as of today, we're making this available. It's going to be included in the EA suite as part of our APM module. It will be available to every of our customers at no additional cost. And I'm excited that in the course of this day, we will see a much deeper presentation by our partner, Appdeo, which also has decided to support this event. So I'm really looking forward to see that presentation. The third topic I'd like to share here is how we help to turn architectures into real solutions. And I'd like to announce another very important partnership for us, which is a partnership with Lucidchart. Lucidchart is one of the leading solutions for modeling and visualizing, and it's used by so many people around the world. We believe we can increase the collaboration beyond enterprise architecture together with Lucidchart to make the data available to solution architects, to data architects. It allows to improve the quality of complex diagrams through the usage of EA data. So you can start right inside of Leanix and then take the data over to Lucidchart and make it available to much more people who like to visually drill down into the data. I believe it's going to accelerate enterprise architecture with advanced visualization capabilities. And I'd like to run a quick example here again. In Leanix, you can start creating a diagram, such as a data flow. That data flow is very convenient because you can start with an application, you pull that application in, and from there, you start exploring what are the data flows related to this application. In Leanix, we can color and highlight this, for example, by the technical fit. Thanks to our new integration with Lucidchart, this diagram can immediately be exported into Lucidchart. And from there, you can continue tweaking it with all the powerful functionality which is out there in Lucidchart. I think this is a great example, again, how two disciplines come together. But we took it one step further. You can also start creating a Lucidchart diagram right inside of Leanix. So you start drawing the diagram here, and then what we do inside of the integration is making sure that the diagram is also available and accessible from within Leanix. So for example, you can attach a data diagram or a more detailed data structure right at an application in Leanix. I'm excited about this partnership, I can tell you, and we're making it available as of today. And thanks to the sponsorship of Lucidchart, we're also having another session later today where we get much more details. And I can't wait to see more usages of this integration. It will be included in our EA suite in the APM module, and it's going to be available at no additional cost to all our customers. The fourth point I'd like to touch on is how we make plans and transformation much more actionable. And we do that with a new business transformation management module. We call that BTM. It allows us to break down plans into objectives, into building blocks, and into projects. Leanix has been traditionally very, very good at reflecting the as-is state of the architecture, really understanding and getting the application list, the business capability mapping, the linkage into the technology right. With the BTM module, we're going one step beyond that and helping you to plan forward the architecture. And what you see here is an extract on our reporting where you can apply a certain plan or an objective right onto a report. So you can actually project what your application landscape looks like by applying a certain plan. We will have a deep dive session later today where our CTO Jan is going to share details in the product insight session. And I'm excited to see that later on. Last but not least, a key point is automating visibility into cloud native. We launched our cloud native suite in the end of last year with two modules, the cloud intelligence and the microservice intelligence module, which we're actually bringing out of an early adopter program now. It allows to automatically capture data from the hyperscalers, from Kubernetes, from CI/CD environments, and also security environments. I believe just as DevOps has united the development and the operations people, and FinOps has brought together the finance view and the operations view, that there's going to be an ArcOps view evolving and emerging. It allows to answer which cloud services do we use in which regions, who's responsible for a cloud account, which violations do we have, which services are going to run out of life, what cloud services are causing my cloud costs, and which cloud services are actually making up my business applications. So the questions architects have need to be translated and brought together with the operations view. We will have a deep dive session later on where Christian, who's running our customer success, is showing how we leverage Leanix Cloud Native Suite at Leanix. And I have a statement now of one of our customers, which I'd like to run for you.
I would just really give that name. So if I had the first word, I would just call it the CMDB for the cloud. So we are in the middle of adopting ServiceNow in our organization. And one part that comes from the infrastructure organization is that we have to deliver data into our ServiceNow CMDB from the cloud components. And we were facing this as a challenge. How could we just deliver this data, and what is relevant data for the CMDB in ServiceNow? So is it just services? Is it every instance running there? So this is also was one of the challenges we were facing. And now we are happy that we just are going with cloud intelligence, that we have the cloud CMDB, which we can now use as a databases to just, really take the relevant parts out of it and put it into our ServiceNow CMDB.
So it's always great to hear early customers speak about the products, and we're like so much to engage with them. So I would love to bring this forward and also listen into some of the videos we're going to play throughout the day today to learn more about this use case. To sum it up, we are excited to help you covering your entire transformation journey from on-premise monolithic over all the way to cloud native microservices. We believe it's never going to be a one or the other. It's going to be the entire journey. And that's why with our two products, the Leanix Enterprise Architecture Suite and the Leanix Cloud Native Suite, we can help you cover this whole journey. What we believe ever since is that we are a player of the ecosystem. And together with the new partners, Appdeo and Lucidchart today, we're actually augmenting our ecosystem once more. With that having said, I'd like to close this start of the day, and I wish you a really great virtual EA Connect Day. I'm excited for all the presentations today. As Hilton said before, make use of our hashtag EA Connect Day on Twitter, and also use the opportunity to connect in our Slack group. There's a big enterprise architecture community out there, and I feel that there's a lot of opportunity to share best practices and ideas, especially in these days, how we can actually help our organizations pulling through those difficult days. Thank you so much, and have a great day today.